He's a lefty. You know, which different. Also changes it too. 95% of our leagues are righties, you know, and the lefties that's dynamic in our league is sometimes just hard to kind of get a cadence of that. The Manu Ginobili's, the James Harden's, the, you know, now the Jalen Brunson. Like it's a different feel when a guy's coming at you lefty, you know. When they're at their best, you know, Mikal Bridges is, you know, knocking down shots. OG's knocking down shots. You know, Josh Hart knocks in a couple. They've done a great job of surrounding him with the perfect pieces.
If your best player is small, you're not winning. John Stockton, Allen Iverson, Steve Nash, you could go down the list.
I double down on this. Just like Becky Hammon said, prove me wrong.
The NBA has long been ruled by a rigid law. If your best player is small, you aren't winning. Legends like Stockton, Iverson, and Nash are the classic examples. Brilliant players who hit a ceiling they couldn't break through. But Jalen Brunson, the 2026 Finals MVP, has officially shattered that narrative. In this opening act, we see the foundation of this debate. LeBron James himself highlights that 95% of the league is right-handed, making the dynamic left-handed cadence of players like Manu Ginobili, James Harden, and now Brunson a completely different feel for defenders. It's not just about height. It's about the unique rhythm that catches even the best defenses off guard.
If your best player is small, you're not winning. John Stockton, Allen Iverson, Steve Nash, you could go down.
But the narrative wasn't always kind. Becky Hammon took a firm stand on national TV, declaring that if your best player is small, you aren't winning. She used the legends who couldn't get over the hump as her case study, essentially trying to close the door on Brunson's championship hopes before they even fully opened.
I can't think of one besides Isaiah. See, we've had guys get close. I mean, I think of Allen Iverson, who got that team to the finals versus the Lakers, obviously, and you would say Steph as well. So Zeke and Steph, but besides that, and Jalen Brunson is trying to do that as well.
Things took a turn when LeBron James sat down to break down Brunson's film. Unlike Hammon, LeBron didn't look for excuses. He looked for reasons. He broke down Brunson's game point by point, never even mentioning Hammon, effectively dismantling her logic by simply showing what actually works on the court.
They don't have enough personnel. At the end of the day, they don't have a dude. You got to have a dude. You got to have a 1A dude. And they're missing.
The irony is deep. Hammon tried to use names like Isaiah Thomas and Steph Curry as proof that small guards don't win. LeBron, however, looked at those same names and saw a basketball bloodline, a path that Brunson was actively walking down.
The perfect team around a small guy, is his will to win. Beyond the shot making is he's so smart at using his body. We know he plays off 2 feet. We know he's got incredible touch on those drives where guys, and he's able to just float the ball in the basket. It's almost not a floater.
Right.
Hammond's critique went personal, claiming the Knicks lacked a number one or a dude who takes over. But just as she was dismissing his leadership, the game tape was showing Brunson's unmatched will to win and his elite ability to play off 2 feet.
By getting in front of your guy, one, he can run you over. That's a foul. Number two, as you cut him off, your big's rolling. You've stopped the game. Game stops, and now, if that big wants to step up, you're looking right at the lob. Right? If that corner guy wants to come in, you're seeing that. And you say, okay, the game's going to restart when I say so.
Right.3
And now we play 4-on-3, 3-on-2, 2-on-1. He's so good at taking those little advantages or big advantages, stopping the game, creating a space for himself, and asking the defense, who's going to come guard this space? Because if you do, I play him behind.
Enter Steve Nash. He stopped sounding like an analyst and started speaking as a point guard who knows the struggle. He explained that when Brunson gets in front of you, the game stops. By creating space and forcing defenses to commit, he turns the court into his playground, asking the defense, who's going to guard this space?
Not natural.
Yeah, it's not natural. Like, he goes and then he just kind of tosses it up there. But like, as a defender, he gets you leaning, and then he boom.
But what I love about Jalen, I try to teach this to young guards, is using the body and cutting guys off, where you steer them away from the pocket of space so you can then.
This is where the size argument fails. Brunson doesn't need to overpower you physically. He uses his body to steer you away from the pocket of space, making defenders pay for every inch they give him.
I double down on this. Just like Becky Hammon said, prove me wrong. Absolutely double down. Getting out of the East has never been a a surefire to winning a championship? What y'all talking about? You get out of the East, you're supposed to get out of the East. It's the fucking East. Of course you're supposed to get out of the East. That don't just mean you win a championship because you get out of the East. It's the fucking East.
Draymond Green doubled down on the skepticism, pushing the "it's just the East" narrative. But this just highlighted the wall Brunson keeps smashing into. No matter how well he plays, the goalposts keep moving.
He's a lefty, which
different.
also changes it too. 95% of our leagues are righties, and the lefties that's dynamic in our league is sometimes just hard to kind of get a cadence of that. Yeah. The Manu Ginobili's, the James Hardens, now the Jalen Brunson. It's a different feel when a guy's coming at you lefty, so that I think that plays a little bit into it. I don't know if anybody's ever said that, and I could be wrong, but I also
LeBron's masterclass continued by pointing out that because 95% of the league drills against righties, Brunson's left-handed attack forces defenders into a half-step delay. It's a tactical advantage that Hammon and Green completely overlooked in their scouting.
Like, how do you scheme for him? Because, he's quite comfortable to shoot a hand-in-the-face three. So then he creates that little advantage with the body, whether he cuts you off, whether he takes you away from the space, or whether he plays off 2 feet. It's really difficult to gap him because you have to overcommit.
Pressure. When they're at their best, Mikal Bridges is, knocking down shots. OG's knocking down shots. Josh Hart knocks in a couple. They've done a great job of surrounding him with the perfect.
The numbers provide the final verdict. When a big man, the very type of player supposed to expose Brunson's size, admits that Brunson stands on business, the debate is over. Dropping 50 points on a star-studded roster in Phoenix is not an accident. It's a message.
It's coming from a big man.
What tier do we put him in? And it's time for him to match up against other superstars. He give them that work and he stand on business. I watched him go into Phoenix a couple weeks ahead.
In the final act of this story, Jalen Brunson didn't need to engage in a messy war of words or a loud comeback to silence his critics. He chose the path of the true professional. He let his silence speak louder than any TV rebuttal could. By simply saying, "I'm representing all them little men," he turned his struggle into a legacy for every smaller guard who was ever told he didn't belong on the big stage. This moment was bigger than one player's ego. It was the ultimate answer to those who prioritized height over the numbers in the win column. Brunson proved that the tax you pay for being doubted is only as heavy as you allow it to be. He didn't just win a championship and a finals MVP. He redefined the standard of what the guy looks like. People will always search for an asterisk. They'll blame the East. They'll point to his height, or they'll look for any excuse to dismiss his greatness. But the tape doesn't lie, and neither does the ring on his finger. LeBron James didn't even have to name names to dismantle the entire argument. He just showed the world that basketball IQ and pure, unadulterated skill will always conquer raw physical size. The verdict is in. The ceiling Becky Hammon and others saw was never actually there. Brunson didn't just break through it. He blew the roof off the entire debate. If you believe that true basketball greatness is measured by heart and not just by height, smash that like button and let the world know you're standing with the real MVP. Subscribe for more deep dives into the game we love. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.